Necroxix, and welcome to the Innsmouth Case. I took the effort of looking up how to pronounce Innsmouth, so this is a choose-your-own adventure game that seems to look like it boils down to it's a reading simulator. Lovecraftian themed, and we've played many Lovecraftian themed games in the past, and most of them all tend to deal with the Innsmouth of all things. Luckily in the chat we have a resident expert who didn't agree to it, but she will fill us in on all details Lovecraft that I do not understand and do not know. She doesn't even know that. or not. So this game is not narrated, which means I will narrate it. I will be reading it. It's supposed to be both horror and humor with a bigger focus on the humor. I don't really know what to expect other than that, so let's just dive in. There's supposed to be 27 endings. I don't know how that's gonna happen. Resident fucking well, if that's the case, then I'm the resident jackass. Got forward. We are fans of the strange world of Innsmouth, but we recognize the problematic beliefs of H.P. Lovecraft. Hey, welcome to my army, Coffee Bean. This game has been produced by a group of people who believe in inclusion and equality. I know why they're doing this. So Lovecraft did have some cases of things that might be discriminatory, either like racial or sexist, things of that nature. I don't necessarily agree with them either. It sounds like these guys don't necessarily, but they, like me, believe in not necessarily censoring an original work. So we'll see what happens. Boston, 1st of September. The last rays of sunshine filter through the blinds of your empty office. A pathetic stench of whiskey, cold cigarette smoke, and canned ravioli fills the air. The screeching tires and constant beeping of car horns out there on the street tell you that it's gone 8 p.m. People are on their way home, finishing their day. You should join them. You decide. I decide to stay at my desk. I don't need to join the people. Your day was long and frustrating. You are running out of ideas on how to handle the calls of people who want money from you. A cold shiver runs down your spine as you flick through a pile of unpaid bills. On the top of the pile is a reminder from your landlady. You're 2 months behind on the rent. The next one is a 3-figure invoice from a games company for in-app purchases. You tried to claim them as a business expense in your last investigation, but somehow your client refused to pay. Oh, this is great already. Holy shit. Then there's a second reminder from your internet provider threatening to cut off your connection. You might take legal action because without the internet you can't work or live. Dude, this game speaks to me. Holy shit. You really need more in-app purchases. I need them. You remember, during a particularly boring case, you started playing that game with the colorful candy. You made it to level 671, but not without the help of extra bombs for which you paid a lot of money. You can't remember why you bought them, but it seemed damn important at the time. You breathe a deep sigh. It may not have been a successful day, but at least it's over. You are looking forward to a classic Friday night, watching old mystery series at home in sweatpants and getting drunk on cheap booze. And in-app purchases. Hey, Leviticus, welcome to my army. Since the early afternoon, you have been staring at the foreboding bottle of liquor at the other end of the room. Up until now, a vague sense of professionalism has kept you from drinking yourself into oblivion. Now, nothing stands in your way. Suddenly, you hear someone at the door. And there was a knocking, so there is a sound effect that they can use. I like it. Let's see. Who is it, or don't make a sound? Let's see. Let's not make a sound. They might, we're busy doing in-app purchases. We can't be disturbed. Don't make a sound. You freeze and hold your breath. No. Nobody will ruin your well-deserved evening. You're as quiet as a mouse. Now listen intently. You listen intently. The woman just outside the door knocks again. Pesky clients. I can see you through the window. Pretend to be a statue. I'm a statue. This is messing with your evening's well-deserved relaxation. You're still not moving, so with a little luck, the stranger will give up and leave you alone. You hear the doorknob twist. The door handle is moving. You probably should have locked it. Just hide under the desk. Not on your watch. With cat-like reflexes and a speed you usually only reserve for eating chocolate cake, you dive under your desk. Your nose presses against the worn office carpet. You really should clean up at some point. You hear someone enter the office. Man, these pesky peoples. Why? Well, it's our fault for not locking the door. If you're trying to hide from your clients, you should make sure that your big butt isn't sticking out of your hiding place, idiot. You hear her walk away. The door slams shut. She's gone. You did it! Not only can you finally go home, but you also found some small change and a half-empty tobacco pouch under the table. Today wasn't so bad after all. You look out of the window at the parking lot. A glamorous woman gets into a rental car and drives out of the parking lot at full throttle. You wonder what she wanted. Whatever it was, it will have to wait till Monday. Feeling a little bit of regret now. I didn't know it was a glamorous woman. Oh well. Finally, you're stretched out on your couch. A black and white mystery series flickers on the TV. Your blood alcohol level has reached that pleasant point beyond no longer able to drive, but still will before everything that went in has to come out again. In other words, we haven't broken the seal. Next episode, the TV asks rhetorically. Sure, go ahead. Next episode, to serve men. You sigh. If only the supernatural would knock at your door. You sure as hell wouldn't miss that opportunity. Let's call it a day. Oh. You reject the mission. What? Wait. Huh? I forgot how many chapters this is, but no. Let's load the last chapter. Let's see what the hag wants. Let's try that again. This time we'll be professional and shit. And we'll skip the text we've already read so I don't kill myself in the process. You decide to stay at your desk. Your day was long and frustrating. Blah, blah, blah. You're 2 months behind on the rent. Next one is a 3-figure boy's income. Somehow your client refused to pay. There's the legal action of our internet. What we really need is my lawyer. You look for your lawyer's phone number and find it on an overdue final reminder with a note that her services will no longer be available to you. Right, that story. You breathe a deep sigh. Might have been a successful day, but at least it's over. You're looking forward to a classic Friday night watching a mystery series at home, sweatpants, drinking cheap booze. Since early the afternoon, you've been staring at the bottle of liquor. There's the whole thing about professionalism. There we go. Suddenly you hear someone at the door. Who is it? Wait, I'm supposed to be the guy. The door slowly cracks open with a timid creak. The unknown guest pauses. Then, in a breathy and melodic tone, you hear a woman utter, "Hello?" Your insides cramp. You suddenly realize that you haven't cleaned your office at all this year. You just invite her in. Oh, there's little animations and shit now. And she's fondling herself. She's going to try and seduce us. By the light of the dusk lamp, we now see more than a silhouette. A breathtaking woman lights up your office. No doubt older than 40, maybe even 50. Hard to say. Clad in black, a skin-tight dress culminating in a décolleté that seems to defy the laws of gravity. Smoky eyeshadow as dark as algae washed ashore. Is that algae? Algae? As dark as algae washed ashore, blonde, coiffed, wavy on hair under a dark beret. The faint light of the setting sun catches in the strands of her hair, and you wonder how many heads this woman must have turned during her prime. The milk's gone sour, boys. She's completely different from your usual customers. Nervous bankers with sweat stains under their armpits, convinced their wives have something going on with the mailman. Every move she makes is calculated. Grace. Smooth as an eel, she walks towards you and sits down on the corner of your desk. Determined, she walks towards you and sits down on the corner of your desk. Which makes you blush. Her butt came in contact with my desk. Which makes you blush. Never before has a visitor parked her derriere so skillfully on the corner of this desk. You hope that the cigarette butt the stranger has just sat on only very difficult stays. The dress looks expensive. When she starts talking, her voice is smoky and full of promise. My name is Dahlia Marsh. I'm looking for a private investigator. I'm not going to do a female voice. Not going to work. I was told you are one of the best. She extends her hand. Kiss her hand. You kiss her hand and waggle your eyebrows in the same manner you've seen so often in those classic movies. This woman moves in higher circles and is used to luxury. You can tell by the strong smell of caviar she gives off. If you play this right, you might even be able to increase the fee for this case. What now? Keep flirting. Nothing is quite as attractive as a heroic private investigator, you think to yourself, while at the same time secretly trying to remove a piece of spinach lodged between your teeth. You don't like the smell of caviar? I'm loving this already. What's a smart lady like you doing in a disgusting office like this? This is your office? Dahlia replies, bemused. You smile and nod slowly. Damn, should have changed the subject quickly. Or you should change the subject quickly. And now? Ooh. Wine her and dine her now, or pay her a compliment? Well, I don't want to pay for dinner, so let's compliment her derriere. Pay her a compliment. You lean forward and look deep into her eyes. You compliment her on her dress, which has a cigarette butt because she sat on it. You think to yourself that her body-hugging dress must have been quite cheap to produce. There isn't much fabric. Your dress is gorgeous. You are gorgeous. You give her a winning smile. Fashion isn't your strong suit, but you're confident you did well this time. You were clever, flirtatious even, and definitely compelling. Suddenly, the office gets very quiet. Do we fail a skill check? Your winning smile slowly starts to falter. Still silence. It feels precisely like in that dream. The one in which you have to give a presentation in only your underwear. You begin to feel sweat pulling at the small of your back. Your upper lip twitches desperately in an attempt to maintain your smile. Now would be the right time to disappear into a bottomless pit. Dahlia smiles patiently. After what feels like an eternity, she clears her throat. If we could finally get to my point... Okay... It's about my daughter Tabitha. She had disappeared. You're pulling out a paper and pencil. This is going to be a walk in the park. A walk in the kidnapped kids park. Well, what What did you last see her? When did you last see her and where? The woman puts on a fake smile. We live in Innsmouth. It's a small port town north of Arkham, home of Batman. I added that part in. You frown. This is a bit vague. What was your child doing when you last saw her? What hobbies does she have? Oh, kid stuff. They run around and play with their yo-yos, that sort of thing. I guess that's what she's gonna sound like now. Dahlia nervously combs her hands through her hair. What does your daughter look like? I need to know for the investigation. She's only 8 and the sweetest girl you can imagine. She's been missing without a trace since last week. None of her schoolmates have seen her and no one knows where she might have gone. She hands you a photo. Look, this is my little munchkin. Oh, good God. That kid looks a little derpy. Good heavens, is this supposed to be a joke? Is that really the face of a child or a shoddy photo edit? Are you being filmed as part of a reality TV show? A bit of stomach acid and the last bite of lunch slowly but surely makes their way up to the back of your mouth. Oh shit. You. Throw up into the drawer of your desk. Or swallow it. Ooh. Let's swallow our pride. Just get it down. Get it back down. Don't want to offend Dahlia. With narrow eyes, you swallow the bile and involuntarily pull a face. Dahlia continues to look at you hopefully. She obviously didn't notice your little mishap. That was close. And could have been unpleasant. I'm so desperate. Her eyes locked with yours. Let's see. Ask more questions about the case, or ask more about the child? I'm gonna ask more about the case. I don't want to risk her showing me that photo again. Dahlia nervously combs her hair, hands through her hair. Does your daughter have any friends, or... What about the father? Usually kidnapping is in the family. What about Tabitha's father? Are you separated? Often children reappear with family members. Dahlia smiles sadly. My little one can't swim well enough for that yet. Your pen remains on the same spot on the notepad. What was that supposed to mean? Oh. I know what it means. No, Blackbird, you thinking one thing, I'm thinking the other. Innsmouth. The fish people, they gone. The father is a fisherman. Maybe. I don't know. Dahlia is about to continue. Dig deeper? No, let her talk. Dahlia turns her gaze away from you and looks dreamily, no, longingly, out of the window. Her father was a fisherman. Oh. Her father was a fisherman, like most in the village. A few years ago, he went out to sea but never returned. His boat was washed ashore weeks later. His colleagues told me that he had finally followed the call of the waves. You keep quiet for a moment. Deceased family members are always a sensitive subject. My sincere condolences. She seems calm. Oh, somehow I always knew that moment would come. I think my husband is in a better place now. And at some point, I'll join him. You take a closer look at Dahlia's outfit. Judging by her behavior and clothes, you never would have taken her to be a fisherman's wife. But she's from Innsmouth. You inquire about... details of the case. I'm curious about her financial situation. How did you afford such a small, tiny little dress? Forgive me for asking, but what do you do for a living? Dahlia's jaw is tense. I work at Innsmouth's tourism department. Why do you ask? For a widowed, single mom, you're surprisingly well dressed, or you don't seem like someone who's handing out holiday brochures. I'm going with the widowed, single mom. You look surprisingly well dressed. For a fisherman's widow and a single mom, you're surprisingly well dressed. Either the tourism industry is more lucrative than I thought, or your husband was quite well insured. You take a theatrical break. Or is there another explanation? The Innsmouth I know, I think they just kept getting lots of gold from the sea or something. Dahlia smiles uncertainly. My family is wealthy, old money, and some kind of local nobility. I don't understand what this question has to do with my missing daughter. I thought this was about you now, not your daughter. There's a combative glint in her eyes. Dirty money might very well be connected to your daughter's disappearance. Or ask more about the case. This might piss her off. But then this... Hey, I mean, it is Innsmouth. Dirty money very well might be connected to the disappearance. It's none of my business where you get your money from, but if the source is rather unorthodox, it could be related to your daughter's disappearance. You peer over your desk to take her in a little better. Your face is serious and impenetrable, but inside your head, your inner Humphrey Bogart nerd feels incredibly cool. Dahlia's smile remains unchanged, but one of her eyelids has started twitching. Nervousness, perhaps? Or do your questions make her angry? No, I have nothing to do with any illegal business. You lean back. Yeah, I think you're pissing her off. Dahlia nervously combs her hands through her hair. Does your daughter have any... What the hell is a yo-yo? Hold on, yo-yos? Ring, ring. Can you hear that? It's the 90s calling, and they want their outdated toys back. Everything's fidget spinners now. Get with the time, Dahlia. Come on. Dahlia blushes. Normally, you would find this quite attractive, but the case of a missing girl beckons, and you're utterly unconvinced by the way this woman pretends to be a mother. She remains calm. No, confront her. What's the deal with yo-yos? Who the fuck uses yo-yos? Come on, Dahlia, work with me. Something's fishy here. You have a nose for this sort of thing. That's why you became a private investigator. Or, to be more precise, that's why you took an online detective course that, for a one-off fee, provided the necessary qualifications. It's time to take your visitor to task. You look at her closely. Why did you come to me, why did you come to me? You get out of your chair. Innsmouth is several miles away from here. Why do you want to hire me? I wouldn't even hire myself. Dahlia crosses her arms. What do you care? Do you want to be paid or not? Yeah, charge extra expenses. You clap your hands, your moment has come. But if I'm going on a journey into the unknown, it won't be cheap. You lean in. But I'm sure your daughter's worth a lot to ya. This guy's good. With what you hope is a poker face, you peer hard into Dahlia's cold eyes. After what feels like an eternity, she nods and pulls a second envelope out of her wallet. You wonder what it was meant for originally. Consider this an advanced sign of my confidence. You nod. A missing persons case, nothing unusual. The conventional little girl run away from home after reading her first romance novel. Usually they hide at the edge of the forest or in a library. Should be pretty straightforward. Before you can say anything, she drops a photo of the child and a roll of bills on your desk. Or your expenses. You nod slowly, trying not to drool down the front of your shirt. You haven't seen this much money in ages. You don't have much time to prepare. A quick search reveals that only one bus goes to Innsmouth, and only once a day. A pattern emerges in your research. A few new items related to this little coastal town are all about missing persons. Oh. In addition, you find some rather old-fashioned articles that praise the coastal town as a secret holiday destination. The best fish, untouched beach promenade, authentic fishing people are the reoccurring buzzwords. Now wait, that last one. Authentic fishing people. The wording on that's a little bit suspicious, is it not, Detective? Dahlia has given you the address at which you're supposed to drop off her daughter as soon as you find her. She also wrote down her phone number on the child's photo. Take another look at the picture before you pack your things. I don't know why I had to voice the picture. The next morning, you travel. We could hitchhike. No, we'll take the bus. We did get paid handsomely. Boston. Okay, so the second day. Your journey begins at a busy bus station. There's supposed to be a bus line that departs from here to Innsmouth. Buses, you think to yourself, are not only environmentally friendly means of transportation, they're also easy on your wallet. Sadly, the departure boards aren't of much help. New York, Maine, Rhode Island, no traces of Innsmouth as a destination. You wander around for a while until you notice a cleaner eating a sandwich on the side of one of the vending machines. You look around. Let's talk to the cleaner. Excuse me, where can I find the bus to Inns? Without letting go of his sandwich, the cleaner points to an abandoned counter in the dingiest corner that a public bus station could be capable. The man gives you a nod, indicating that anything that can be said has indeed been said. You find that the counter is elaborately decorated with cobwebs. It's a bit early for Halloween preparations, but at least someone's made an effort. At the moment, nobody seems to be there. You press your face against the plastic window to peer into the room behind. Hello? Hello, is anyone there? I have to go to Innsmouth. No one there. Suddenly, out of nowhere, a bus ticket appears on the counter. Might the trip be free? Should you leave a payment? Hell no. Just take the ticket. Yoink! In all likelihood, the ticket was already on the counter and you simply hadn't noticed it before. Someone must have paid and just left it there. This is what you tell yourself while you are looking for the departure gate with a ticket in your hand. Where's this bus hiding? In between the polished greyhounds and a traveler stowing their luggage, saying goodbye and dropping tiredly into their seats, there's a kind of dumpster. A dumpster with windows and wheels. No, there's actually a bus. It's a bit on the rusty side, and even from a distance you sense the strange smell it emits. Is that sulfur? You're not convinced how this thing is supposed to drive. In its vicinity, everything is noticeably quieter than at the other bus stops. The people getting on show no sign of emotion. Nobody is trying to jump the queue here. Instead, the passengers move past the bus driver at a uniform speed, one after the other, shuffling up the creaking steps. Each two-seater bench is occupied by individuals, as if they want to make sure not to come into contact with their fellow passengers. The sign clearly says Innsmouth. No departure times, no stopovers, just Innsmouth. Undecided, you're standing on the stairs of the bus. Just show your ticket. You hand the driver the ticket. No reaction. At least you can't make out a reaction. The lighting is poor, and the shadow of his dusty driver's cap covers almost his entire face. You notice something strange on his neck, but you can't quite make out what it might be. Gills, I bet. You're standing on the door waiting for an okay, a nod, anything. The sulfur odor has increased. A queue has formed behind you, but no one is pushing or complaining. The people wait quietly and patiently. Just keep walking. You shuffle sideways through the center aisle. You don't remember the bus looking this long from the outside. You are surrounded by shabby two-seater benches, and some are already occupied. One traveler per row. The last bench is free. Looks like the upholstery is torn in some places, though. Or has it been slit open? You can see springs with sharp wire edges and some sticky liquid seems to have leaked out onto the floor. Why didn't you just sit down on one of the free rows? Here in the back, almost everything is occupied. Most of the passengers seem to have purposefully sat down in the aisle seats, blocking off the window seats. Maybe this is an opportunity to get a little closer to the common Innsmouth visitor. You gaze across the row of seats. Let's sit down with someone. As a nonconformist, you join one of the passengers in a double seat. Since only one man was so considerate as to sit at the window, your options are limited anyways. As far as you can tell, the man is a haggard figure with barely any luggage. The hood of the gray jumper pulled far and onto his face. The man looks out onto the streets as if something very important is happening that requires his attention. Is this seat taken? You ask politely. He turns his head and gives you a brief once-over. Oh, fucking hell. He's got little webbed fingers. Without saying a word, he turns away again. Sit down anyways. Alright, that wasn't a no either. You sit down and regret it instantly. The smell of sulfur is now overpowered by something else. Something that smells like it's been in the sun for too long. You're trying to catch a glimpse of what's under that hoodie. Does this person have genetic defect? Is he malnourished? You're not sure exactly where the problem might be, but you're trying to stay professional. You awkwardly stare at the headrest of the person in front of you. Talk to the stranger next to you. This is a chance to get some inside information. I don't really want to talk veganism. Let's play the tourist. Holy shit. You clear your throat before you speak. Twitching and with a slight tremor, the man turns to you. Excuse me, I'm visiting Innsmouth for the first time. Do you happen to come from there? A twitch is all you get. Maybe you should get right to the point. Maybe we shouldn't have sat next to him. It's hard to tell if you're boring him. Ooh, don't mention the girl. Ask for some tourism tips. Does Innsmouth have any sights? Your neighbor stares into the middle distance. Is he thinking? The silence between the two of you is hardly bearable. The beach. He finally stutters. Your eyes meet again. The old town. He adds. Well, that could have gone worse. Small talk has been gruelingly slow, so you decide to let it go. This ride is taking forever. The bus leaves the country road and turns off at a wooden sign that says Innsmouth in red, flaky letters. The journey continues rather bumpily along a narrow dirt road littered with numerous potholes. In the distance, some houses are already visible. Seagulls circling the roofs of the outermost edge of the city. Suddenly, all passengers take their bags out from under their seats and get ready. Curiously, you look through the side window. That's odd, but the bus passes by a huge... What is this? A scrapyard? Parking lot? Why would something like this be here? Right outside the city. You pass another wooden sign whose half-peel writing advertises the Innsmouth Park and Ride area. A lot of cars look like they've been sitting here for years. Sand covers some of the bonnets and windscreens. The front door of the bus opens with a squeak and you join the monotonous line of locals stepping out of the bus as if in a daze. Almost walking in step, you all get closer to the exit. As you walk down the steps, you have to protect your eyes from the sunlight. Turns out the window of the bus were tinted. The other passengers shuffle off. Finally, Innsmouth. You examine your surroundings while you stretch your legs, trying to unwind from the stressful journey. No artist could have adequately captured the serenity and beauty of this place. A clear blue sky lights up the town square, which is paved with bright limestone and surrounded by neo-colonial buildings reminiscent of 19th century New England. A fresh sea breeze, crying seagulls and locals going about their business. In the center of the square, water trickles from a fountain. As you stretch your limbs and breathe in the clean air, you're suddenly startled by the water feature right in front of you. The fountain is an enormous fish-like brass creature. An open jaw lined with shark-like fangs spouts brackish water down its massive, inhumanely contorted body. As if that wasn't enough, there appears to be human bodies squirming underneath its massive claws. Their faces are as contorted as yours right now. How long have you been standing here? Eyes wide open in shock, you feel utterly paralyzed. You start to scan the town square and notice more and more disturbing details. On every corner you spot ornamental statues and reliefs of fish. But these are not your classic harmless kind of fish. These are pagan symbols and grimaces of supernatural creatures from the darkest crevices of the deep sea. In surrounding houses you can see faces pressed against the windows. All the locals appear to be watching you. You suddenly start to think that the cries of the seagulls sound particularly human-like. They sound like humans crying out in pain. What happened to the idyllic scene from a few moments ago? I think that's idyllic. Yeah. That must be Dagon. Maybe. Welcome to Innsmouth. Turn around or ignore. I'm assuming it came from behind us, so turn around. Ugh. Welcome to Innsmouth. How nice of you to visit. A small elderly woman waves at you from afar. She beams at you as if you were her long-lost grandchild. She seems very different to the boors you've met so far on the bus into town. Her squealing shakes you out of your nightmarish panic. Ugh. It's so good to have you here. I've noticed you're taken by our local fountain. It was built in 1704 by Abdul Necroxix, favorite artist and friend of Charles Dexter Tillinghast, the founder of Innsmouth. I shouldn't do the voices. The central figure was a present, and it was supposed to commemorate their travels together to Cairo. You can clearly see the Egyptian influences in Necroxix's work here and here. Abdul Necroxix. Yeah, I made the statue. It was all me. She points wildly in every direction, and here, when I'm sure you've already noticed this yourself, you look like someone who knows all his way around art. She says with a wide smile, "You're still in shock." "Yes, I'm still in shock too." She beams at you. "Who the hell are you?" "Oh, have I not introduced myself? I'm ever so sorry." In front of you now stands a small, plump person in a tasteless costume. Your rudeness doesn't seem to curb her enthusiasm in the slightest. My name is Muriel Pooping Place. I need another drink. Her name is Muriel Pooping Place. Let's try this. My name is Muriel Pooping Place. I'm the director of the Parks Commission, chief tourism officer, and head of the welcoming committee. Ta-da! Behind Muriel, there's a ramshackle wooden information stand, lovingly decorated with balloons. A colorful painted sign reads, "Welcome to Innsmouth." Muriel tiptoes over her information stand and picks up a whole load of flyers and leaflets from the rickety display cases. She looks down at all the papers in her arms and briefly shrieks with laughter. "My goodness, why don't you take this city map to begin with? Useful, you take the map and put it into your coat pocket. Would you like to find out more about our wonderful town, which has been awarded the East Coast Stunning Town Award for several years in a row? And would you? I'm looking for someone. Here I am. Oh, no. The small, plump woman starts giggling. Innsmouth welcomes you warmingly. So you're working for someone? Not that uncommon for two lonely hearts to find one another in this romantic place. Oh, no. Muriel winks at you. Oh God, I could flirt with her. Just mention the missing girl. I'm on a mission. Be professional. You see, I'm looking for this girl. It's always about a girl, isn't it? Tabitha Marsh, 8 years old. Her mother asked me to take her on the case. You take out the photo and Muriel immediately rips it out of your hand. Oh, what a cutie. But I'm sorry to say, I've not heard anything about missing girls. How awful this sort of thing doesn't happen at Innsmouth. Perhaps you can have a look around at the beach or on the playground. There are a lot of kids around there. I'm sure that's where the little one will be. With an unnaturally wide grin, she hands you back the photo, turns around quickly, and makes her way over to accost another tourist family. Phew, disaster averted. You head further into town along the cobbled road in the direction of the coast. Not long ago, the sun was bright in the sky, but already the first wafts of mist are creeping into the streets. The air feels thicker and the sun can no longer penetrate the fog. Time to think about where you want to go. You slow down. You lean your briefcase against a wall and start pacing up and down the quiet alleyway. You've got an important choice to make right now. The city center is in the north. Even from afar, you can see the outlines of the old and ornately decorated buildings in the main town square. Here you should find the police station, the main shopping street, and, of course, the town hall. As a coastal town, Innsmouth also has a harbor. From your research, you found out that this is a bustling area with a dreamy beach. You expect there to be mostly tourists. According to your research, the only hotel in town, the Gilman Hotel, is located in the old town. You think about checking in. You could do with freshening up and getting rid of that bus smell that is still clinging to your clothes. Just as you're about to set off, your heart leaps into your throat. You've forgotten your briefcase. This has never happened to you. You usually take good care of the little posse. Or the little you possess. Wow, that was a fail. There's nothing you can do about this now. You'll have to wait until your return to find out whether someone has handed it in at the lost and found. Still, you could swear that the briefcase was already gone when you got off the bus. English. You decide on. Okay, so we can go... well, the center, the hotel, or the harbor. Where should we go? Let's go to the hotel. Everything I know about Innsmouth, that's where, well, nothing good ever happens in the hotel. You recognize its roof from afar, and after a long walk, it is now before you in full splendor, the Gilman Hotel. At least it's easy to see that it once must have been a gorgeous building. The hotel resembles an old English country estate, but in its present state. It would be suited as the setting for a very predictable film about teenagers and chainsaw killers. Wild and withered ivy has a firm grip on the walls and obscures the details of the richly decorated facade. A gallery of gargoyles melted into unreal shapes by acid rain and acidic pigeon droppings line the roof. The many window panes have been neglected for years. Only in a few places has a small area been wiped clean in order to see outside. There are 2 cars in the parking lot. A vintage car with large rust spots and a large gray van. Kind of van you've always warned about as a child. Inspect the cars, or... let's inspect the cars. You look around again just to make sure that the people who own the cars aren't hiding somewhere with their shotgun at the ready. The coast is clear. First, you walk over to the antique car. Well, you're not a car expert, but the car looks antique to you anyways. Both seats inside are made of white leather. A bit tacky. You You turn away from the antique car and look towards the van. No writing on the side, a regular registration plate, the windows in the front blacked out. Hang on, you have a brain. Maybe this is the van into which poor Tabitha had been pulled when she was kidnapped. When she was lured to her awful fate by sweets and lollipops. That sounds completely plausible. Of course, it all makes sense. In all likelihood, you've just managed to find the actual kidnapper, the seat of all that is evil and wrong in this case. And all you had to do was book a hotel room and stare at cars. You're a natural. Now all you need is some proof. What's the plan, Stan? Smash the window. A brilliant idea. Your brain is running at full speed while complimenting itself for its ingenuity. A good day indeed. What's the best way of smashing in the window? With your elbow, like they do in the movies. All your heroes from the 80s and 90s action movies get right into it when they have to collect evidence. Yes, in order to expose a child trafficking ring, an investigator sometimes has to operate within gray areas of the law, whether they like it or not. And you're all for it, so much so that you lift your arm up high and smash it right into the window. Silence. There's a short muffled noise when your elbow hits the extremely resilient window glass, then silence. In agonizing pain, you stagger back from the still intact window, and soon you start jumping around in a circle, cursing Bruce Willis's manly biceps. It feels as if someone has wrapped barbed wire around your arm. That could have gone better. You roll up your sleeve. Little red dots have already begun to cover your elbow. That's going to be ugly for a while. Congratulations, you've almost crippled yourself. The pain in your arm, still throbbing and slowly fading, has ruined your mood. Stupid, ugly car. Slowly cracks appearing in your reasoning. Aren't these kind of handyman cars often parked in front of hotels when they are performing maintenance jobs? You've stayed in this parking lot long enough. You don't want anyone else to call the police on you. Maybe you should just go and book your room. You really hope the inside of the hotel has been looked after a little better than the outside, but you're quickly disabused of that notion. The massive wooden door is difficult to open. Shouldn't the staff be doing this anyways? With a loud creaking sound from the hinges and an exhausted puffing and panting on your part, you manage to open the door and enter the lobby of the Gilman Hotel. You wonder if guests are even welcome in this place. The room is sparsely lit. There are impressive chandeliers hanging from the ceiling, which, if working, would perhaps not quite give the grand hall back its original splendor, but at least convey more warmth. Your first steps tell you that there are rotten floorboards hiding under the thick carpet. The green wall paneling and wallpaper also appear rotten and musty. Sort of wet. Go to the reception. Now that's the most trustworthy looking dude I've met yet. Before you let yourself be distracted by the questionable interior design and the associated health issues, you walk purposefully towards the reception desk. A small, greenish creature stands behind the counter. The loudly humming ceiling lamp above harshly illuminates his silhouette and gives his face hard edges. You can make out every individual speck of dust and dandruff on his dark green velvet collar and crooked shoulders. Maybe they should be dimming the lights after all. The figure smiles at you, or perhaps it's more of a grin. His face unsettles you. You lean forward at an angle to get a better look at him. The corners of his mouth reach all the way up to his dried up ears. His smile looks like it's painted on. His beady eyes lie deep in the cavity of his skull and seem to stare into the opposite direction. Has he even blinked yet? On top of it all, he smells funny. How may I help? You're startled and take a step back. Welcome to the Gilman Hotel. My name is Cornelius Gilman III. How may I be of service to you? The man's gaze remains unchanged and his unnatural smile still seems to be etched into his face. You're still surprised that he can talk with that expression on his face. Just a moment ago, you could have sworn he was an inanimate puppet. Just like now when he's not speaking. What is wrong with your face? What is wrong with your face, you say, with disarming honesty? If you're referring to my complexion, I suffer from a very rare congenital disease which only people from my family as well as other people in this town develop. Shrug your shoulders. Sure, why not? I would like to book a room. You begin and manage not to blurt out in a different hotel. Oh, perfect. The Gilman Hotel is delighted to be able to welcome you as its guest. May I ask whether you're in Innsmouth for business or pleasure? How long will you be staying with us? Would you prefer a view towards the beach or the skyline of our exciting town? When would you like to be woken up? Do you sleep deeply? Are you traveling alone? Do you have a family? Who knows that you're here? Can I interest you in our spa, fitness, and wellness activities? Would you like to subscribe to our newsletter? How long can you hold your breath? Answer all the questions. You tick the box next to pleasure, wink, wink. Yeah, I'm here for pleasure. How long will you be staying with us? About a week. Favorite view? The view of your room. Would you like to be woken up? No. Damn it. Do you sleep deeply? Odd question. As deeply as my feelings for you. I can't be woken up that easily. Are you traveling by yourself? Maybe tonight I won't be by myself. Wink, wink. Do you have family? I have this goldfish called Al. Who knows that you're here? Al knows. Can I interest you in our spa, fitness, and wellness activities? Yes, please. Maybe we'll meet some chicks. Would you like to subscribe to our newsletter? I do not want to subscribe to your sodding newsletter. No, or I will kill anyone who tries to get me to subscribe to their cursed newsletter. Come on, Blackbird. Have confidence in me. I do... No. I just don't want to subscribe. No, I don't want to like or share. I don't want to sign up for your Patreon. I don't need your Instagram. How long can you hold your breath? I've been able to breathe underwater since I was a child. Now, let's go with 30 seconds. Maybe that's a test if I'm a fish man. I don't know. Are we done now? Can I go to my room? The concierge... I don't know how to pronounce this one. Concierge? The something's expression did not change a tiny bit for the duration of your conversation, let alone did he blink. Thank you very much. That was all I needed to know. Now all you need to do is sign here. He tilts his strangely shaped head over to the guest register. And patiently you sign it with XXX Noob Slayer 555 XXX Concierge. I'm signing it as Noob Slayer. I am the Noob Slayer XXX. Because somebody else took it. Sadly, we're all booked up this season. There's only one spare room. Here's your key for room 666. Enjoy your stay. You look at the key, which has magically appeared on the counter. Then your eyes slowly wander past the man to the wall, where countless other keys are hanging. I thought he said there was only one room. What's going on here? What now? I will be in my room, slaying noobs. You look at a golden panel with the layout of the different rooms and floors. Room 666, there it is. 4th floor, left wing of the building. You walk up the stairs to the upper floors, but you can still feel the eyes of the concierge on you. Painting, you finally reach your floor. An almost endless corridor spreads out in front of you. At the other end, you can see a figure who seems to be as lost as you are. Didn't the building look much smaller from the outside? You walk down the corridor when you notice the figure approaching you. Your brain is mentally preparing itself for benign hotel small talk. But wait, it's you! You walk a bit further and realize you're standing in front of a mirror. That's why the corridor looks so vast. The mirror marks a fork. According to the room numbers, your room should be further on the left. In the corridor towards the right, you can see a small yellow sign on the floor. Maintenance. What do you want to do? Walk around? No, let's go to your room. My room. After 2 more confusing turns and giant mirrors, you reach room 666. Finally. You're going to drop your stuff and take a nap. Good plan. Of course, the door was just being opened. You jerk the key back and forth in the lock until you hear a satisfying click sound. A soothing warmth hits you as you enter the room. Immediately, the synapses in your brain switch into energy-saving mode. The trip to Innsmouth has probably taken more out of you more than you had thought. Let's try that again. The trip to Innsmouth has probably taken more out of you more than you had thought. You don't even notice the rest of the room. The sight of the bed makes you yearn for a little shut-eye. I don't think I have my luggage, so I don't know if there is to unpack, but let us unpack. That's right, you're supposed to do something else. A little girl needs to be found, and the reward for it needs to be paid into your bank account. It's only when you march to the closet that you realize you have nothing to unpack. After your briefcase mysteriously disappeared, all you have left is a very basic survival kit, a toothbrush, and travel bottles of various care products that you had stuffed into your coat pockets in a rush. You go into the bathroom and position your treasures around the sink. A handful of ice-cold water is enough to refresh you. Good thing you didn't go straight to bed. Who knows, you might never have woken up again. Now that you feel a little more refreshed, you leave the bathroom and survey your tiny kingdom. You fell asleep. What? Not always I get to read so much. Nice. Your place is furnished only with the bare necessities. Your bed is flanked by a chest of drawers. At the window, there's a desk with curved ornaments, and next to the bathroom door, there's a huge, massive, dark wardrobe which extends all the way up to the ceiling. The yellowing floral wallpaper is slowly detaching itself from the walls in some places, and on the wall, you can see a range of paintings with elaborately decorated frames. What do you want to do now? Masturbate is not an option. Examine the pictures more closely. Since this room has not yet been equipped with a television, you're left with art as your only entertainment. The first picture shows a ship in a choppy sea. The motif looks familiar, but pretty. The impressive fight of the small ship against the huge forces of nature half hidden in the background, you can see a small spot of light. You have to squint and walk up even closer to make out a lighthouse. Even some elements of a town are visible. Could this be Innsmouth? You turn to the next picture and immediately take an involuntary step back. You are looking at a grouchy, weather-beaten man, the embodiment of a sailor complete with a captain's cap, a full gray beard, and a thick black coat collar. The painter of this work opted for a frontal perspective rather than a more advantageous side angle. His head slightly raised, the man's piercing gaze seems to be fixed on something in the far distant. A small spark of light drowns in his sinister eyes. Odd choice for the hotel room decor. The third and last picture hangs on the adjacent wall. An idyllic view of the beach on a quiet day. A pair of lovers with their backs turned to the viewer. He is wearing a white shirt. She is wearing a yellow dress. The two of them are in an embrace on a sand dune and look towards the horizon. This image fills you with a profound sense of calm. What do you want to do now? Open the window. After a day out and about investigating, you have no desire to return to this stuffy room tonight. Oops. At least open a window to let some fresh air into the room. The window lock is an unnecessarily complicated crank that you turn around aimlessly for a while until you understand how the mechanism works. What do you do now? Leave the room. You are now reasonably refreshed again and ready to face the town. Armed only with your wallet, your mobile phone, and the photo of the little girl, you step out into the corridor and lock the room door. You turn right at the first fork, then left again. Right? Anxious to get out, you suddenly find yourself at a dead end. After trying a few other left-right combinations, you finally find the golden sign on a wall which shows you the way to the stairs. Kind of regretting not selecting the sleep option, because that might have been like one of the premature ends. As you walk down the circling stairs, you look at the reception on the first floor. The eerie, almost mechanical smile of the concierge greets you. It's as if he has nothing better to do than watch your every move. You arrive downstairs and you decide to talk to him again. Nothing much has changed at the reception. A voice emerges from behind the concierge's clenched teeth. Thank God Ori gave me the pronunciation for that one. Word came up more times than I would have expected. I hope you're satisfied with your room. It's perfect. I want to die here. It's perfect. I want to die here. The concierge puts his greenish hands at his heart. I'm so happy when guests say this. Book wellness sessions. This wellness offer. Caligula. The concierge offers hopefully, naturally. Today must be your lucky day. Today's program starts in... He lifts his arm without actually looking at the gold watch on the wrist. 5 minutes. Would you like to reserve a spot? Reserve? You take a moment to turn on your own axis and let the fundamental emptiness of the hotel sink in. Definitely. Fabulous. I will arrange everything. The tour bus is already outside in the parking lot. Our wellness specialist, Ezekiel, is awaiting you. Really? Sign me up.